Right, I used to do with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you
Yeah.
have to move her, you
Yeah.
just keep
Okay.
together. But hopefully you have enough space.
No, no, we're doing good. We're doing good over here. I was going nuts the other day. Um, uh, I was driving, and I was driving down the canyon, and by the time I got to the bridge to go over, of course, my mind, I was a mess. I was worried, and I was concerned, and what was happening was that my brain was um, my thoughts were sort of like out of control, and it was in the middle of the Parrots Ferry Bridge that I just stopped my mind,
Mm-hmm.
and I realized what was happening. So, how do I fix that?
How do you fix it? Well, you were stopped in the middle of the bridge.
I didn't,
You fix it by getting to the other side. But
yeah. Well,
let me tell you a little bit about the other side. Because I always said that I was not raised an optimist. Um, I think in my culture and in my family specifically, it was almost expected that you will have some kind of like a very cynical and semi pessimistic outlook, and that was considered to be a sign of intelligence. So for the longest time, my normal was really having, I always say, 80% negative thoughts and maybe only 20% positive thoughts until it really, in my early 20s, started to bug me because I felt like my mind was doing exactly what you described. It's just taking me onto all this
mhm.
chaotic states, and I wanted to see if there's anything that I could do with that. And there's, of course, a lot of literature and a lot of, science as far as cognitive behavioral stuff. But, I needed something special, something that I could connect with.
Mhm.
And right around when I started searching, right, you have to ask the question and then wait for the answer. So it's kind of happened the same way. I was looking for something that could speak to me, that I could hold on to when I find myself in the middle of a bridge, right? And in the middle of chaos. And what came along was Hawaiian Mantra, believe it or not. And there's a lot of baggage, I think, with the word of mantra and, the whole Hawaiian thing. But really, the story that I read, made sense to me. The story was that when somebody in Hawaiian tribes, not all of them, but certain
Mhm.
tribes, would get sick, whether physically or mentally, the whole tribe would get together and they would put a person in the middle and they would surround the person and very quietly, not out loud, they would keep repeating four very simple sentences. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And really, what it means that if you had any conflicts and you had any kind of misunderstanding, bad energy, what we call, right? You sort of let it go. And the idea is that you clear up your flow of love and compassion to that person. And for some, it might be just a couple minutes, right?
Mhm.
Because they love each other, and it's
Mhm.
like, dude, I love you. I'm sorry I can't maybe make you feel better. Please forgive me if I'm so helpless. Thank you for being with me, taking the journey together, right? For others, it might be actually much more difficult because they never liked that person or they just had a recent conflict with that person, right? So that would mean that they would just stay there longer and kept repeating it
You
until
keep
you
repeating.
keep repeating it
Mhm.
until you feel like, oh, right, it left. Going back to our previous story, right?
So the four elements: I love
You,
you.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
Thank you.
Thank you. All
Very
right.
simple. And I like the simplicity of it. And so I started actually repeating it any time I would find myself in the chaos of that negative, cynical, or hopeless thoughts. And slowly, not right away, but slowly, it became a really cool tool. Let's say I had a conflict with my boss at work, right?
Mhm.
And I would take a break, I would go out or drive, for 10 minutes. And initially, you feel like, no, I don't want to be like, I don't want to be like, no, but you just stay with it. You just stay with it until it gets easier, and it does. It does. And maybe 10 minutes, maybe 20, maybe 2 hours. I don't know. For me, the maximum was probably 30 minutes, work
Mhm.
related. You just feels that it gets easier and easier and easier. So, anyway, it became one of my favorite tools of stopping the negative thoughts. And it was really empowering because it also showed me that I can choose, just what you did on the bridge. Boom,
Mhm.
you're aware where you are in your mind, and boom, you have a choice. Either stay with where your mind takes you, or say, uh-uh. By the time I make it to cross the canyon,
Yeah.
I'm having my own thing. I have my own choice. And I go back to the Hawaiian Mantra. So I don't know, it might be actually a little longer than 5, 6 minutes, but the most important part of that story happened actually when I was invited to facilitate a group for high needs teenagers, and it was like a last minute request for the regular facilitator was not available. So I didn't have any plan. I literally just walked in, and here's a group of kids, and I had no topic. So I asked them, I said, what do you want to talk about? And, mostly boys, but, the boys said, well, how about holding the grudge? They wanted to talk about holding the grudge. And right away, for some reason, well, because probably it worked for me, the Hawaiian mantra came to mind, and I explained them the history. And the boys said, can we play Hawaiians now? And that kind of like stopped me in my tracks because I never done that with anybody else. I said, well, sure, we can try. So there was about 8 kids and maybe 3 adults, because high need kids, teenagers. And what we did, we kind of we didn't put anybody in the middle. We just formed a circle around a table, and then we took turns. So let's say if it was your turn,
Mhm.
I would look at your eyes and
Mhm.
I would say something, not something, but I would say, "I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you." And then the next person who was sitting next to me would look at in your eyes as well and repeat that. So you would hear that from everybody in the group, including other kids, and including 3 adults. And as we were doing this, I was observing the kids, and what was so amazing to me that a few of them teared up, and quite a few of them had a very interesting physical reaction when the adult would say, "Please forgive me." They would like almost jerk away. And it dawned on me that was the first time in their lives when an adult asked for forgiveness.
Wow.
The energy in the room was undescribable. I still get
Yeah.
shivers when I'm just even talking about it right now. So it was hands down the most powerful group I've ever done in my life. But it also showed me one thing, which I later read elsewhere. And it goes like this: gratitude is the highest form of thought.
Mhm.
So you take that as a forgiveness and acceptance. And you also take the gratitude,
Mhm.
which is the same thing. Thank you is the last part of the Hawaiian
Mhm.
mantra, right? And when you choose that, and you have the whole power of choosing that as what's going through your mind, Nothing else is needed. No solutions, no clever ideas, just that.
That is just powerful. That's a good one. We ought to make a video on that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, that's good. No. Okay, the four again.
I love you.
Wait. I love you.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's all in those four, isn't
It's
it?
all in those four.
Wow.
So, do you want to say something like that to our viewers? Or maybe we can ask them to play with that a bit here and there and tell us
Yeah.
if there's any miracles that happen for them. Right?
You do that a lot. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's good.
Ooh, and we just got blocked from stopping the video, which is funny, but we're gonna stop right here. But we do love you. I'm sorry for whatever it is not happening, right?
Yeah.
With this shooting the video. And yeah, please forgive us for being very not technically savvy, but we thank you for your attention and support. Here we go.